Welcome in episode 50, Ramie and Drew. Episode 50, Drew. You believe it? We made it to 50. We made it to 50, and it's a celebratory 50. I'm Ramie
It,
Mackloff. That's Drew Flaggy. We're a couple of Milwaukee comedians. We talk about sports and other bullshit. And tonight we come to you after a Bucks victory to keep their season alive, to force a game six in their series with the Indiana Pacers. You're all welcome to get in on the show, celebrate 50, celebrate a Bucks win with us. Drew, that was a fun one to watch. Everything about that was fun to watch. The group chat was very fun while the show was going on. We have 50 new Danilo Gallinari nicknames. I forgot we had so many nicknames. I forgot his actual first name. You know how that'll happen? Like you
yeah,
like you just get inundated with something and then you forget anyways, it was a great night, man. It was a great night for the Bucks, and everyone's invited to join, including Pat Bev. I shot the link out to Pat Bev on Twitter. So
dude.
see if he
Well, I'll
jumps in.
stay up. I'll stay up all night if Pat Bev pops in for 10 seconds and just yells "belt the ass" and then leaves.
I tagged him in the tweet.
So
With the link. So
is
we'll see if
this
he jumps in.
is this the third episode that's been labeled episode 50?
No, this is our first episode 50.
I think you might have
I
had
have
it the episode 50 when Bart hopped on the other night.
no. I said Bart. I said that was episode 49. I said I
Okay.
was thinking about getting Bart on for number 50. Maybe
All
on
right.
the camera. Maybe I had a no,
Something could
because
be
I
wrong.
just changed the banner tonight. I changed
All
it
right.
tonight. So no, we're good.
I don't know how all the technical stuff works here. I'm here for the color commentary.
Yeah,
So
I do all that.
as fun as the group chat was, I was at the bar I go to on Tuesdays to watch the game, and I wore
Mhm.
all black. I wore my black Bucks shirt. I had black jeans on. I had black shoes on. I was ready for a funeral. I was not confident that Chris Middleton could hold the fort together again.
Man, he's fucking
Obviously,
awesome.
dude. Okay, and that's what I want to get into because you know that
Like
I
we
do
got we
not.
got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot to get to, and a lot of
Well,
guys that deserve a lot of credit
we're
tonight.
gonna we're gonna
Fuck,
get to all
Chris
of it. So
Middleton, dude, Jesus,
we're gonna get to all of it. So first of all, yes, Chris Middleton is good. We'll do the meme right now.
it's good.
Chris
Yeah,
Middleton's fucking incredible, and yes, 22 should be absolutely hung up in the rafters. That was not a question after 2021. His loyalty, I know people say that he's overpaid. I know I heard that because a guy at the bar told me that Chris Middleton's overpaid. I had
tonight.
somebody tell me that they hate Chris Middleton. And what I did while we were talking in the group chat is I also pulled up a tab on my phone and started bringing up Chris Middleton's stats and clutch time stats and all that stuff. And this guy left the bar. I was bad for business tonight because I was like, oh, did you like it when Monte Ellis was our best player
Wait,
for 30
this was
games?
tonight. This was tonight
Yes.
while Chris Middleton
Yes.
was in the middle of doing what he's doing. Who the fuck is this
Yes.
guy?
This guy,
You find
like,
the wrong people to
bro,
talk to.
bro,
Everywhere
it was a
you go,
West
you find the wrong people to talk Bucks with. What's wrong with you?
it was a West Dallas bar. I honestly invited nobody
Mhm.
out tonight to watch this game because I was like, look, this could be sad and we should just watch in our own sad dark rooms or something like that. And it was whatever. Like I
We
put
should
on
all watch in our respective Tuesday bar, right?
yeah. So I just went because they
Right.
got
Yeah.
they got the burger deal. So I went, got a burger. I was like, I'm gonna stay through halftime. And then we took that 9-point lead. And I'm like, well, this is kind of fun. Maybe I'll stay. And the bartender who's there every Tuesday, he bought me another beer. He's like, all right, he's like, you stay for the third quarter. And then we started putting belt to ass. And I'm like, we went on a 7-0 run out of the half. And I was like, all right, this is fun. I'm sticking around. I'll drink some more Guinnesses. So
So that's where we are.
they're low calorie. They're good. Guinness is
Guinness
good.
is not low calorie.
Yeah, it is.
It can't be.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like I feel like I've
It
had
is.
like 3 burgers after I drink a Guinness.
Well,
They're
yeah,
fucking heavy, dude.
yeah. It feels like a loaf of beer, but like it's. I don't know. I guess it's
Mhm.
better than. I don't care. I don't want to talk about that shit. Okay, it's like I don't want to talk about my beer consumption. I
That's
just want to talk
fair.
about a guy was telling me. Well, this one dude was like, he was like Brooke Lopez. He's not paid enough. I was like, making like $28 million a year to score 9 points a game, and he gets like 2 rebounds. And he goes, Brooke Lopez gets like 10 rebounds every game. I pulled up his season averages. It was like 4.5. It was like he's there for block shots and paint presence. Like he's not there for rebounding. So you got all these people who are like, well, he's big, so he gets rebounds. Like, not really. Like Giannis kind of is the rebound vacuum. And then this was the big thesis of today, and we can put a pin in this after I say it. It's the people that apparently now hate Giannis.
You're giving attention to the wrong people on this night.
I was sitting next to this guy. I'm not even talking about that moron Wallace that's in the Milwaukee Bucks nation. I ain't even talking about him. And I know that there are people who listen to our show that that are in the Milwaukee Bucks nation. I absolutely know it. Hey guys, hey, I don't sign off on anything that dude says. He's a fucking dipshit. And I would say, hop on the podcast. Let's have a talk if he wants to. But he is a moron. Because
why are we even acknowledging these people?
Because you have people who are admins of big groups, big Bucks group chats or group pages and shit that are sitting there slandering Giannis because fucking Jamal Murray had a calf strain, a different calf strain than what Giannis has.
Do you realize that the Bucks won a playoff game tonight with the G League team, and you're wasting your time giving attention to the fucking group chat? Or the fucking, why, dude? Why?
Because it's moronic shit. I had to sit there and listen to a guy sit next to me at the bar talk about Middleton sucks. And then, 29 points, and he had 10 rebounds, and he had like 4 assists or something.
Dude,
oh my God. The Bucks, this is the first time in what? I saw somebody said something like it was the first time in 13 years a team has won a playoff game without their 2 top scoring players out there.
I just saw that. I was going to mention that. That's an amazing stat.
And you're going to the Bucks bitch about Chris Middleton?
No, but most people aren't. Most people aren't complaining. Why are we talking to those people? Who are you talking to right now?
Well, because I had to sit next to that guy at the bar.
Well, fuck that guy. I don't care who you sat next to at the bar. Neither does anybody else watching or listening to this.
I don't know what he tipped, but he left.
Great value brand Bird app says, what's his name? Sith Lord. I don't know if you remember Sith Lord. That's kind of an inside joke. But anyways, that goes back to like 1250 days and stuff. It was a whole thing. But anyways, the performance from Chris tonight and what I was about to just say before you decided to give attention to people who really don't deserve it was, I don't know if they pulled this off, and we can talk about that later, but whatever happens in this series, Chris Middleton has entered another stratosphere of Bucks legend and lore with what he's done in these last 3 games, dude. The guy, if anybody had doubts about who that guy was or what he's capable of, like, he's done away with all of that. He's had to be their number 1 guy in this series, and he's carried every bit of that weight on his shoulders.
He's been great.
29 tonight again.
And also, not for nothing, he's doing it on one ankle also. He's not out there 100% either. He's hurt. Remember Miles Turner, the totally clean player, Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. He stepped underneath Middleton and tried to give him, should have been a flagrant foul a couple games ago. Dude, they've been shoving Middleton around. They've been beating his ass too. And Middleton's out there trying to hold this shit together with duct tape and bubble gum. And he's been doing a fantastic job of it. There was one point in this game that I got slightly annoyed, and it was when I saw how efficient Bobby Portis was. And I was like, if you just don't swing on Nembhard, if you don't do it, man, Sunday's a different story. It's like if you stole that game on Friday, this series is a way different story. But, like, I didn't see Tyrese Halliburton skipping or smiling tonight. My little sister texted me and asked, why is that one guy crying? And I said, that's just how his fucking face looks. And I cited Bart Winkler saying that the Snapchat filter of somebody based on his actual face. So
He
shouts
does.
out to
He does
Bart.
have a weepy face. He has like resting weepy face.
But he looked really sad. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why. Like was the court not good for skipping tonight? Did we not clean it good enough for you, Tyrese? Obi
No,
Top.
you saw it. You
Obi
saw it
Top.
again tonight. You saw it again tonight. And what Bobby said, they're front runners, dude. And when you deliver a gut punch to them, they react to it. They feel it and they react to it, and it's hard for them to get up. And I'm glad the Bucks. There was a moment. I think the Pacers at one point after the Bucks made a run got the lead back to within like single digits, and I was like, man, don't let them back into this. Yeah, they got it down to 9. I was like, do not let them get back into this because the momentum, especially with their lack of experience in the playoffs, the momentum can swing so greatly, and I think it can even carry into another game when you don't let up and you close out and you blow them out like that with with Gallinari getting 21 minutes, Pat Connaughton getting 32 minutes, Beasley in this one in the second half just going off. What did he finish with? 18 points, 4 for 6 from 3. Like this was not even the B team. This was the C team for the Bucks that just embarrassed you and dog walked you off the court and shimmied while they did it. And that stays with the team like the Pacers.
And well, speaking of guys like that, like yeah, Beasley. First of all, he played great tonight. Couple ticky-tack fouls. Scott Foster was, he was in charge of the show tonight. So welcome to the ump show. That guy was out there doing Scott Foster shit. Like that's Pat Bev, phenomenal game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Bev was that annoying little dude that you need on your team that was just under their skin. There were times where they'd be cutting the game. He was smacking that ball away from the Pacers when they were just trying to hold on to it for a couple extra seconds. I mean, yeah, he baited Obi Toppin into shoving him into the bench.
Which I loved how through that whole sequence he 100% was selling the idea that he was just trying to get the ball. Like I just want the ball, man. I just want, and he knew exactly what he was doing, but he didn't break character for 1 second. He was selling 100. Like I just want the ball. I just want to inbound it. Even when people like rushed in to break the fight, he was like, no, everything's fine. Just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. That was hilarious. That commit to the bit. Commit to the bit is what Pat Bev did right there. Yeah.
Did you laugh? I'm sure you did when Bobby Portis hit them with the too small. Like after Pat Bev did it twice and then Bobby started doing it. Like that's the thing. It's like I love Bobby, and then he does dumb shit like tries to smack Nemhart 5 minutes into a game. But like when Bobby and Pat, like they're like chaotic, like together. Like
they're funny duo.
That is dangerous levels of chemistry right there. Like those two are incredible together.
Pat Bev's too small. I said this on Twitter. Maybe the best I've ever seen. That was sassy with the hand on the hip. With the hand on the hip. And that was amazing. That was the best I think I've ever seen the too small executed.
That's the kind of shit that's gonna also stick with them. It's like you let Pat Beverly, no disrespect to Pat Bev, but obviously not a scorer on this team. Like not a guy who's like a pure bucket like Chris Middleton can be and like Bobby can be. And you let that guy go off for like 5 minutes on you. And then also he caused so many pokeaways from behind that just came like he wasn't credited with those steals. I think Beasley got those, but man, he was causing like traffic jams and just chaos in the paint and poking the ball away. That was just smart veteran play. Like that's exactly why you bring a guy like Pat Bev onto your team. And
he was awesome tonight. He was awesome. Great. He was exactly what you needed.
Middleton, I would say in order like my top 3. Number 1, obviously Middleton. He was the man tonight. Like again,
again.
That's why you pay a guy like Chris Middleton. And any team in the league would love to have a guy like him. So when Bucks fans shit on Middleton, I get pretty annoyed. Pat Bev was my second favorite player tonight. His antics and just him being
so good.
It's like the antics with the production because you can't have one without the other. Like, the antics become annoying. And that's where it's like, for Brewers fans, that's like the thing with like Nyjer Morgan, where he was an issue on like the Nationals and like towards his end of the tenure with the Pirates. He wasn't producing. He was on losing teams, so his antics weren't fun. But the second he got to the Brewers, and he was just that annoying little slap hitter that was out there going, and like screaming at guys and having a split personality, that's when it was fun, because he was super productive. And that's what Pat Bev is doing. Like, when things are going well, it's the best, because he is going to be, you love him on your team, you hate him if you're against him. And he is absolutely as irritating to Pacers fans as I think Halliburton is to us. The only difference is Pat Bev could swing on somebody and maybe weather the storm with a healthy team. Halliburton, he pulls dumb shit, they're fucked. He can't.
Yeah.
He's got to act like a hating girlfriend. He's got to be like, that man was being mean. Now you need to go hit him for me, okay? I need my boyfriend to stick up for me. Bobby Portis not Bobby Portis. Pat Bev is out there. He's like, I'm going to swing on somebody. It's like, yeah, you go fight for yourself, and you pay for your own drinks too. Pat Bev
and Pat Bev will swing on somebody. Tyrese Halliburton is just going to talk. He's just going to talk in two different voices and do nothing. He ain't swinging on nobody.
No. Tyrese Halliburton forgets how nasally he is. It's really funny. Like, my allergies are bad right now because it rains. Like, my eyes are puffed. I know what it's like to look like I was crying all day. But man, like, when my sister had, like, why is that boy crying?
Why is that boy crying? You make your sister sound like a teenager. Your sister's a grown woman. She has a career. Like, she's
I think she's like 4. I think she's 4 years older than Tyrese Halliburton. So she's like, oh, he's a.
Why is that kid crying? What's wrong with him?
Oh,
does his dad play for the Pacers?
Less sadness in a cancer ward than fucking Tyrese Halliburton has on a basketball court. It's
like I would say. Like I was saying, a lot of guys that, like, so much to touch on in this game. A lot of guys that deserve some credit and a shout out. Let's see. We touched on Chris Middleton. Talked about Pat Bev. Dude, Bobby Portis, 29 points. And you're right. Like, I was watching this and thinking, man, if you didn't slap somebody on Sunday and you got this performance, we might be talking about being up 3-2 3-2 and heading back to Indiana trying to close this thing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's, like I said, that's the frustrating thing, is like, you're like, man, coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know, a couple things here and there in the Friday's game, couple things here and there. You know, so you don't go down by 20 points. You don't have this happen. You don't have that happen. You know, it's like you keep it to 10, and then you got to fight back. And it's like this. We dig ourselves holes. We do dumb things. And I understand Bobby getting frustrated. The fans are frustrated. Like, and Bobby's, he's a man of the people.
But I honestly don't think what he did. I don't think what he did on Sunday. I don't think what he did on Sunday was out of frustration. I think that was Bobby turning it up to 10 and just taking the intensity a little too far. He knew that he had to bring it if they were going to stay alive. Not just tonight, but even in Game 4. And he knew that he didn't bring enough to the table in the first 3 games with Giannis being out and what was going on around the basket with the rebounds and defensively, and him sort of settling for bad shots whenever he got the ball in the paint. He had to know, dude. And he wanted to, like, his pride kicked in. But I don't think it was frustration. I think it was just Bobby turning it up to 11. And tonight he was able to channel that, but not take it too far.
Well, also the other thing too is Nembhard put his hands on Bobby's throat. I will say
there is that.
You're going to put hands on somebody's throat. I also don't blame you, but at the same time, I kind of do when it's like knowing the situation. So you don't put your hands on someone else's neck without getting ready to get smacked or punched. Like there's got
yeah, but like we said Sunday, give it any other game, we go Bobby, and that's kind of what you love about him because you have Giannis and Dame on the court.
Dame out there
probably still you can't. That what he did Sunday was just dumb. It was just a stupid move by Bobby.
Was reacting like what I think in that situation would honestly do. It just sucks when you're like, like, you know, when people, I'll go back to the people that are always like, Chris Middleton's inconsistent. It's like, well, when does he show up? When doesn't he? I don't really give a shit about a regular season game. Same thing as like Bob, you're getting paid a ton of money. You got to pick your spots to do this kind of shit. And especially as a guy who, in my opinion, still was sixth man of the year. No disrespect to Naz Reid, because we are pro Timberwolves here.
Yes, Bobby, we are hardcore. By the way,
2 games, man. Like, I mean, if Giannis wasn't the MVP because he had this, that, and the other thing, and there was the coaching change, all this, Bobby played through every single game of this, and he had like the most points off the bench. Like this, Bobby was a double machine. And I mean, if Giannis wasn't the one holding this shit together the whole time, then you got to say it's got to be one of the role players. And why wasn't it Bobby? Maybe he had a lull at a certain point in the season where he wasn't scoring. Doesn't matter. But like Bobby's being paid what he's being paid, and he actually has a club-friendly deal. So, I mean, he's probably going to be due for a little bit of a pay raise if we keep him. And I honestly would, even though I said the last game because I was pissed off that, like, if you're going to do dumb shit like that in games where you might be on the trading block again, like, I don't want to see him go. But tonight it's like, that's home court Bobby right there. What he did.
That was and he grabbed the 10 rebounds. The Bucks were much better, much more active on the rebounding front tonight. The margin wasn't huge, 44-36, but you held them to just 10 offensive rebounds. And more than that, and I'm forgetting who was the color analyst on tonight's game on TNT. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
We put it on Bally. You don't want to listen to fucking TNT.
Anyways, somebody can say it in the comments. I'm drawing a blank right now. But he mentioned there was at least 3 or 4 loose balls off of rebounds that just active hands and just being aggressive under the basket got the Bucks the ball. It would bounce off a Pacers player. You know what I mean? Where before the Pacers were grabbing those uncontested. Nemhard and Neesmith were just running under the basket and getting those rebounds that would hit the floor, and all the 50-50 balls the Bucks were getting after those. That's how you're going to have to win this game, especially when you don't have, like you said, this is the first time a team has won a game in the NBA playoffs in 13 years without their 2 leading scorers. You got to win on the fringes like that. You got to not turn the ball over. You got to win the rebounding battle. You got to prevent second chance opportunities. You got to win the 50-50 balls. You're not winning the series unless you can do that. And they did all of that tonight.
Well, and also for everybody playing along at home, the 13 years ago, Giannis, Dame, and Chris were not in the league. So
no.
That's how long ago this was that this happened. No, like other guys too. Like, you know, I've kind of said I'm done with Pat Connaughton. Tonight, he came away with a lot of loose balls. Like, he was knocking stuff away. He had a block tonight. Like, Pat Connaughton wasn't just getting straight cardio.
No, I was going to bring that up. Again, there was a lot to cover in this game. I was going to bring up Pat Connaughton, who gave him, let me see, do I have this right? 32 minutes? Yeah, 32 minutes from Pat Connaughton. And you know what? I didn't hate him. I didn't hate the 32 minutes that he was getting. He wasn't. It wasn't just flybys all night for Pat Connaughton. He was being productive. He was 4 of 7 from the field. He had 12 assists. He grabbed. It felt like. Hold on. No, he had. No, he didn't have 12 assists. I'm sorry. He had 4 assists, and it felt like more because he was around the basket all night. But he had 4 rebounds, dude. He was everywhere, and we've given Pat Connaughton a hard time. We got to give him some credit.
Yeah, I'm more than happy giving anybody credit when they do something well.
Hey, I got to get my ring light. Just keep talking, all right?
Yeah, no, Pat was. I loved what Pat Connaughton did tonight. I thought this was playoff Patty C. This was exactly what we were hoping to get the second this thing started up, like with the playoffs. Like, we're really hoping to get this kind of effort because it's not like he's lazy. That's the thing. It's like there's productive minutes. And again, people shit on Gallinari too. Well, Gallinari gave us some pretty solid minutes tonight.
Dude,
I didn't hate his
when they were down. What were they down in the first quarter? 10 points in the first quarter at one point.
Like 9-10, something like that. Maybe.
And I was like, dude, they're down 10, and Gallinari is getting minutes. This fucking season is over. Like, it's the first quarter, they're down 10, and Gallinari is getting 5 minutes. This is hell. This season is fucking over. And then all of a sudden, Gallinari again gave you, the numbers aren't off the charts, but he was active. He was tipping balls when they were coming off the rim. 21 minutes for Gallinari, and you know what? I can't argue with him getting the 21 minutes. They were productive 21.
He played veteran minutes, and he was kind of productive. I'm like, all right, Marinara minutes. They're back out there. You got the list of them.
I mentioned in the group chat, I don't know how it started. Well, I guess I could look how it started. I have screenshots
because he's Italian.
Well, no, first it started with our friend Vegas. He called him Danilo Tortellini. Then you know what? You had a home run earlier. I think this might have been my favorite one. This is the one that made me like snort laugh. Dingle Totinos. I don't know why, but Dingle Totinos really got me. And then Vegas came back with Dangiro Dingolini. Our friend Ryan Mason called him Vanilla Garfunkel. Vegas had Thabo Cefalicciolini. I don't even know what that means. I called him Dino Gabagool. We also had the Italian Stallion, Danilo Scorsese, Done Get Me a Pizza, Garlic Marinara. And,
I like the straight up, like, just things from the aisle. Like, that's all it is.
And the last one was
pesto.
The last one was It's DiGiorno. But I do think that my favorite one was Dingle Totinos. I don't know why, but I think my favorite one was Dingle Totinos.
Well, that's why I've been laughing at that video about like the Celtics last night. Like, I've been laughing at just the guy calling Adebayo Bam Adaboo. Like, that's giving me life all day, honestly. Like, if there was ever a reason not to wear all black, it was just some dude being like, Bam Adaboo, put a dog leash around Kristaps Porzingis and walked him around the court for 40 minutes. That was hilarious.
That was pretty funny. But also, the group chat had me laughing today.
What,
you ever sorry, go ahead.
Oh, calling Jason Tatum a part-time basketball player. Orders. That's the funny.
You know, your girlfriend asks you what you're laughing at when you're looking at the group chat, and you can't explain it. You know what I mean? Like she's not.
That's even worse. She's in the group chat. She's like, I don't get it.
She is in there. I forget she's in there because she doesn't really contribute or participate a whole lot. She's more a spectator. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's very stupid. Anyways, Drew, do you think they sounded pretty optimistic on the TNT broadcast? I didn't see anything that would lead me to be like that much more optimistic about Dame and Giannis coming back for Game 6 than I was for Game 5, but they were giving positive vibes on the TNT broadcast about at least one of, if not both of them. It seems like Dame is probably closer. They showed him shooting. They said Giannis got a good sweat in practice. Do you feel good about these guys coming back, and with or without them? Do you feel good about the Bucks' chances of at least bringing this thing back to Milwaukee for a Game 7?
I watched because Eric Name was the one that shared the video of Damian Lillard shooting around in with his shorts on, and he had his his sleeveless hoodie on, and he was shooting threes and stuff. And I watched this thing like it was the goddamn Zapruder tape. I was like, he doesn't look like he's in all that much pain. And then you go back to what Doc said, where he was like, yeah, it's an Achilles something. That's what the MRI showed. They didn't say what the degree was. The original thing was like it was a 2nd-degree sprain. But I'm like, how do you shoot all those buckets on Friday on a sprain? I was like, man, that guy must be unreal if he can absolutely do that. So I was like, I don't think it was as bad as a 2nd degree. I do think Thursday Dame probably plays. I'm like 40-60 on Giannis playing, like 40% maybe, 60% not. I think Game 7, if it comes back to Milwaukee, I think Game 7, I think absolutely Giannis is playing. I think, I mean, I would love for both of them to be back. I'll put the authentic Giannis jersey on. There will be no more wearing all black. Like, I'll go sleeveless. I don't care.
I just lit the Giannis prayer candle for those who aren't watching and are listening in our audio formats at Spotify and Apple. By the way, if you're not, please follow, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, help us grow this thing, and pray with us that Giannis is back soon and Dame is back soon. Drew just laid out the Dame Lillard jersey like he died, like they do with guys' jerseys in the dugout when they suffer a tragic death and they hang jersey up in the dugout. He's still alive. He's just got an Achilles sprain.
He's my favorite player. So I'll hang up if he gets a fucking hangnail, I'm gonna hang something up for the guy. If he eats like a bad meal, I'm gonna hang he's my favorite fucking player. Like, what do you want out of me, man?
If neither of them come back, can they recreate this in Indiana? I think they can, dude. I think they can. Maybe not quite looking exactly the same. You might need it from Brook. Dude, I know you have a lot of Dame Lillard stuff. You probably will need more from Brook because I don't know that you can count on that 2 games in a row from Pat Bev, as much as we love Pat Bev. And the invite is still out. Link, I've tagged you in the link with the link, Pat Bev, if you want to join the show. We'd appreciate it.
Everybody tweet it. Tell them we just love them.
Can they recreate something like this and force this to 7 where I feel really good about the chances of one or both of those guys coming back, and you'll be at home?
Yeah, because this was a game tonight where the Bucks didn't do anything that was like spectacular. They didn't do anything like Bev didn't go off for like 30 points. You know, nobody on our team had 30. Middleton and Portis each had 29. Like, okay, that's a great performance out of Bobby Portis. His career high before this was 22 in the playoffs. So 23 record, and they highlighted that, and Bobby was able to do it. But tonight was no different than what Bobby does when he starts in place of Giannis. Like Chris Middleton just did what a starter does. He was no different than what Donovan Mitchell will do on a given night, essentially, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pat Bev played like a conventional point guard. Like Mike Conley doesn't do anything more than what Pat Bev did tonight for the Timberwolves, and they're extremely good. They played a very good basketball game, and the big thing was the Bucks rebounded the ball well. They were very active with getting their hands on the ball and, just disrupting passing lanes. The first quarter, they weren't very good about getting guys off of the 3-point line, but they cleaned that up and they chased dudes back into the paint where Brook and Bobby were, and Gallinari. Like, our bigs played well down low, and we didn't need a whole lot of minutes out of guys like Andre Jackson and stuff. Like, all the people want the youth movement to come out there because those guys have young, fresh legs. But sometimes, I don't know.
Jackson and Green both 7 and 5 minutes respectively from those 2 guys. And you can't argue with it, dude. You got to give, and maybe I think this is the one last guy or facet of this game we got to give some attention and some credit, man. For like I said, I wouldn't have seen Danilo Gallinari playing meaningful minutes, being in there in the first quarter. I thought that was a white flag on the season. The fact he was out there for a reason, giving you productive minutes. Same thing with Pat Connaughton. He could have easily stuck with AJ Green and Andre Jackson, who showed some things earlier in the series that seemed to sort of ruffle the Pacers' feathers a little bit and disrupt what they were doing. But man, he stuck with those two guys, and they really changed up what they were doing defensively. You got to give Doc some credit for what we saw out there tonight. How many shots did they had 100 and did they say on the broadcast 132 shots in game 4 of this series? The Pacers, that is. They had 81 tonight. They had 81 tonight. You shaved 50 shot attempts off the Pacers. They controlled the pace. They weren't, like I said, the second chance opportunities, the turnovers, but a lot of it was just controlling the pace and changing what they were doing defensively.
There was one little sequence I think it was towards the end of the half, where it was under a minute, and Doc threw in Andre Jackson Jr. for Chris Middleton for like one possession. And it was because they went with like Halliburton and like Neesmith and those guys, and they wanted them to get that ball inbounded and push it as quickly as they could up the court. And Doc Rivers pushed the button where he's like, I'm throwing Andre Jackson in there, and we're going to run up the court with them and make sure that they don't get a good shot off. And they got a bad shot off. We took the ball back down the court, and then Middleton was right back in there. It was just, Doc did manage this game very well. Like I was like today I was listening to YouTube videos when I was at work, listening to what a lot of like the pundits were saying after, Sunday's game and stuff, and just making myself sad.
I'm sorry. It was 2 games ago, and I had the number way off. 105 shots. Carry on. Still a lot. You shaved 25 shots off their total shot attempts.
I was still going to say, like Bart said, a lot of people Doc Rivers for this disaster, and it's like, how? It's like I don't get it, because it's like if anybody, like the same thing is like with our little podcast, we're gonna sit here and I'll say, Pat Connaughton, had a bad game, Pat Connaughton this, Pat Connaughton that. I'll talk about Beasley, missing shots, things like that. But it's like also we'll give credit too when they do the things that they're expected to do. And it's the same thing as like give Doc Rivers credit. He pushed all the right buttons tonight. He managed this game very well. He got out of the personnel that he had. It was great.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, Doc deserves a lot of credit. I think we passed. I think we gave out all the flowers we need to give out. I do want to go to bed, but wanted to read some comments before we wrap this thing up. Daniel says Bucks in 7. Very cute cat in Daniel's profile picture. He also asks, should the Bucks run it back with the same roster next season, regardless of what happens in these playoffs? They don't have a lot of options or a lot of flexibility. Like the main guys are going to be the main guys. Like Giannis, Dame, and Chris aren't going anywhere unless all hell breaks loose and one of them forces a trade. Bobby's locked up. You were talking about his contract situation. Brooke has 1 more year left. The bench, I guess there's some questions on the bench. Pat Connaughton, they could get out from his deal. Pat Bev is a free agent. So there are some moves they could make on the bench, but the guys are the guys as far as the main pieces in the core of this team.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you would do is you would take like a guy like Marjan and Pat Connaughton and try to parlay them into something, I guess. Trade them somewhere. And then it's like, do you give that money to Malik Beasley? I'm still like, Beasley had a great game tonight. I'm in big moments, like he's not the shooter that we've needed. He was brought in here to shoot threes. I mean, he had the shimmy going tonight. He was 4 of 6 from 3. Beasley was very good tonight.
Yeah, he was.
One game though, I can't overreact and be like, but he also did have a pretty good season for us too. Like getting into the three isn't nothing. He's second all time in made threes in a single season for the Bucks. And that's with Damian Lillard being on the team. He made more threes than Dame did this year, but Dame had all the off court stuff on and like all that kind of crazy stuff. And I think
to answer his question, I don't think we're going to see major changes. Maybe one role player added in the type of trade that you're talking about, but that's about it.
Yeah. You're not gonna go get like a free agent like Malik Monk. Like you're not gonna go get a guy like because he's going to command way too much money.
But then again, John Horst almost seems to have a trick up his sleeve. That's if John Horst is the GM, and we can get into those rumors on another show on another day. We have playoff series to talk about and some comments to read before we wrap this thing up and go to bed. Great value brand Bird App says Chris Middleton versus the Celtics in like 2018 was already better than Glenn Robinson. That is true. That is true. I wasn't saying like in terms of his realistic place in Bucks lore. I'm talking about in some circles. And you know what? I was yelling at Drew earlier for giving some circles the time and attention of this podcast. So maybe I'm guilty of it too. But any Chris Middleton doubters and haters out there are really, really getting the to borrow a Pat Bevism, the belt to ass right now. And we need to shut the fuck up.
What I honestly, like, I'm not going to get all fired up on that again, but like, I think, do you believe that Giannis is sitting out because Giannis wants to sit out? This is an honest question.
Of course not.
Anybody listening to this,
you have to be an idiot to believe that.
I would ask yourself, do you honestly believe that Giannis is sitting out because Giannis doesn't want to play, because he's got a little bit of an ouchie boo-boo? No.
Of course not.
The Jamal Murray injury, a different calf strain than what Giannis had. The thing that irritated me was that I described that there are 3 muscles in your calf.
I didn't mean to. That wasn't the point of me bringing up.
No, I know.
When I said you were giving attention to people that don't deserve the time and attention of this show, it wasn't to give them more time and attention. That wasn't what I was trying to do. What are you doing?
I'm explaining to the people who have common goddamn sense that it's like there are Bucks fans out there that think Giannis is gutless, which is absolutely
idiots. It is fucking idiots.
And it's like, just consume our show, because we don't.
There you go. That's all you need to do.
It's
more cash money love.
Yes.
More cash money love from Q. Says Chris Cash Money Middleton balling out. Big Bob, Bees, Pat Bev all took a quarter. Pat C, a strong contributor throughout. It did seem like they were going quarter for quarter. Like it was Chris Middleton to get Chris Middleton throughout, really. But he was really the guy who was carrying the load in the first quarter. Pat Bev in the second quarter was just ridiculous. It was a lot of Bobby in the third, and then Beasley in the late third and fourth. It was really exactly what you needed if they were going to win this game, like I said earlier.
I mean, Chris Middleton sweats more than the average human being. That guy.
So do I.
I don't know how Chris Middleton is as skinny as he is, and he sweats like he's the fattest man on the planet. Like that guy is wet a lot, dude. He's basically an amphibian. That dude can breathe underwater, I think. Middleton, dude, like he looked absolutely gassed halfway through like the second quarter, and he just had it going the rest of the game too. It's like, oh, he turned off fatigue. That dude's playing 2K. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm just turning.
He's so good, man. Chris Middleton is good.
Yeah, Chris Middleton's great. Like
Chris Middleton is good.
That was great. We could just real quick. Did you see the Brewers got into a fist fight? Like they were all Bobby.
I did. You know, I meant to bring that up and forgot. Yes, that happened like literally 3 minutes before the little kerfuffle between Obi Toppin and Pat Bev. Like things got feisty in Milwaukee in a 5-minute span there.
Dude, it's bar closed in Milwaukee at all times of day right now. We're fighting. So did you see all that happened? Like that? So, whatever his name is it Jose Siri or something like that? That guy, he hit a home run, and then Freddie Peralta, definitely not on purpose, drilled him. But dude, like pimped his home run. Like he really like sold it. Like hell yeah, dude. Like I'm kicking ass. And then Freddie hit him in the ass cheek, and it was like, all right, it's like a whatever. The fucking ejected Freddie Peralta. Quick.
I saw that Guccione, and then he got into it with Murphy and injected him too.
Papa Pat came out there and was dropping "fuck you, get off my lawns." That was awesome. That was cool. The fact that Ricky Weeks is the most jacked like assistant coach in the league. Is obnoxious. Like, it's like, nah, dude, like Rick out there.
Ricky Weeks could literally, and Pat Murphy is not a small man, but Ricky Weeks could literally like forklift, pick him up, and walk him to the dugout if he really wanted to get between him and the umpire.
You know who Pat Murphy actually really looks like to me, especially when he's really pissed off? You ever see the movie Sin City? You ever see Sin City?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Marv. He looks like Mickey Rourke's character, the guy who's got all the... he's got like the comic book nose, and I know mine isn't like better, but like he's just got like that like straight down nose, and he's just like always like cranky. I like him. If Pat Murphy rules, but then we
got
bring
bad noses. This show has bad noses,
dude. We bring in Abner Uribe. That was so cool. And then like like that guy gets to first, or he hits a little dribbler to like first base, and Reese Hoskins flipped the ball to Uribe. And then, he's out at first, and Uribe kind of had a couple words for him, and dude started barking back at him. And then, but like they got in between them, and Abner Uribe just fucking throws a haymaker at him. Like, yeah, dude, I'm like, let's go.
From one angle, it looked like he clocked him. It looked like he really got him and knocked him back. But from a different angle, it looks like the guy kind of he kind of went back like Matrix style before it even landed, so he kind of went with the punch. I don't know how hard it landed, but it looked good. It looked good. It was more than you'll usually get in a baseball fight.
I want to put a little addendum on what I said on Sunday about Bobby Portis swinging, because I was like, you don't open hand hit somebody. Like, if you're gonna get your money's worth, no, a guy who throws a ball 104 miles an hour, you can open hand smash.
Open hand, yeah, you open hand that, yeah.
That's basically swinging a samurai sword at that point. You're gonna behead somebody. So,
and also that hand is worth a lot of money. You don't want to break it. You're much less likely to hurt yourself if it's open handed. No.
He wants to swing. That was cool, but also the Brewers, they win that game. That was
a couple more comments. And back in first place, the Cubs lost tonight. They had first place briefly for a night by half a game.
Don't care about the standing until after the All-Star break.
I do, and I'll continue to update them. Motion says that Bucks lust is pulsing through my entire body. We might have to get Eddie J on the show, the singer and songwriter of Bucks Lust. I could arrange that. Say that again?
I made my girlfriend listen to that song one day.
How'd she like it?
No, she was like, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "Ramie used to play this on the radio when he had a job."
And you know what? I will again if I'm ever given the opportunity. I will again.
I was like, because she's from Iowa, and so I was like, well, I'll play. What was it? Light 'em up, the Bucks thing from like 2001. Like, Thomas, light 'em up.
Eddie J. Lemberger is a fucking musical genius, and I'll hear nothing otherwise. And Stevie says, how can he slap? How can who slap? You just slap with your hand open.
Well,
what kind of question is that?
I'm saying don't slap. I'm saying actually throw a punch. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not.
Yeah, if you're Bobby, but not if you're Uribe. And no, we're not advocating violence. We're just saying if you're gonna be violent, get your money's worth.
Well, and the crazy thing is too, you don't even have to physically hurt any of the players on the Pacers for them to cry. Like, up by 20.
Tyrese Halliburton looks like he's crying 95% of the time. Dude, so yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry for the one person that listens to this in Oshkosh. Move. I would cry if I. Thank God I'm from West Dallas.
Yeah, much better. It's a much better place.
It is a.
All right, Drew. Any final words?
I should probably say this.
Froze up.
Willie Adames hit a 3-run homer. That was awesome. I said bad things about Willie early in the season, so
I'll a really good start. Man.
Since we're giving props, I want to be consistent.
Yeah.
That
crow.
I'm not really eating the crow. I'm just
the crow. It's okay.
I can be brought back. And Giannis cares, and he will be playing.
Yes, he does. Yes, Giannis wants to play. He is not. Yeah, Giannis wants to play basketball. For anybody who's wondering, Let's give those people attention one more time. Giannis definitely would like to be playing right now, but can't. And
This is an organization.
If you think otherwise, you're an idiot. Anything else that we need to add to that, Drew?
Dame Lillard game coming Thursday. He's gonna
All right.
He'll put up some
You heard
buckets.
it here first. This has been episode 50 of Ramie and Drew. That's right, 50 episodes. We've made it too. We appreciate all your support. Please follow, subscribe, like, rate, review, tell a friend at YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Let's make some money before we do another 50. That'd be awesome. We appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you next time.